gotta watch the
watch
edges.
the edges.
Oh yeah. Discoloration,
Really?
Yeah.
uneven edges.
I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
a big
there's
mole guy.
whole-
I've never really investigated.
Oh, it's
You do walk.
there's a
Yeah.
whole
Your
list.
funeral, buddy.
Yeah.
Do I got anything that I should know about?
I have my. Don't worry, I'm watching your.
All right. Don't worry.
Welcome back to Show Me Yours podcast. I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Jonny DeVito.
And I'm Ty Boissano.
You're goddamn right.
Who do we got in studio today?
Today we are very lucky to have, for my money, one of the funniest people in the fucking city. I'm not going to gas his I'm going to gas him up a little bit. I'm going to pump his tires. He's an absolutely hilarious album that just came out, topped the iTunes charts. A manual labor of love. Please welcome Ryan Williams to the podcast.
Hell
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in, man. Very excited.
It's an honor.
Fuck
Hell
yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
How you feeling today? It's been a wild morning.
Yeah. How was the ride in?
I woke up. I put my sheets and stuff on my bed at like 4 something in the morning, and then crawled into bed, and then just woke up with the lights on and messaged you immediately. So it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Like 11:35.
Okay.
Okay.
That was
yeah,
not
that's not so
bad.
bad.
That's not
yeah,
bad.
Yeah, yeah.
That's solid.
That's
What keeps you up until 4 a.m. these days?
Yeah.
My thoughts.
Just the general state of the world and you existing in it.
No, not. I don't care about the world. I
Oh,
only
that's
care
about
about
yourself,
me.
yeah.
I only care about me and how I can succeed in this world.
Fair enough, man. It's I think we all have selfish motivations and shit, right? Do you have that do you ever get bogged down in the fact that you're just like a kind of like a self-important asshole that like 95% of my thoughts are like, how can I do the thing that I want to do, right? I'm not really providing any service to the rest of the world.
Well, first of all, I don't have an inner monologue.
Oh, no?
I'm
No?
a shark.
Oh, Johnny's
wow.
got John Cusack just
Dude,
fucking
all the
rolling
time.
in
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just
would
go.
narrate my own
I'm
life.
just an evil spaceship of flesh, floating on
Spaceship of
biology
flesh.
and instinct.
That is fascinating, man.
Yeah. How
No,
does that
of
work?
course. Like most people, most of my thoughts are selfish, and a lot of the times I am bogged down on how I make other people feel and stuff. But ultimately, that's probably like selfish motivations because
Totally.
like being
Yeah.
bad to making people feel bad makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is like
yeah.
maybe perhaps it's inherently selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that a lot too. I'll like worry about like how I come across to other people, or if like maybe I said something that came across not right. But ultimately, it's all about I'm caring about how I seem
Yeah.
to other people because I don't want it to reflect badly on me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, I guess, are we all just pieces of shit?
Everyone you meet in comedy is a fucking loser.
No,
Scumbag.
guys. I don't
Okay.
think we're selfish. We're just
Socio.
asking people to like and subscribe to
Yeah.
our thing
Yeah.
that we do
Come
here.
to our
when we
shows.
just and when we just talk for an hour, and you should listen to it.
You only
Yeah,
have
exactly.
24
It's not
hours
selfish
in
at
your
all.
day.
There's nothing selfish about that
Yeah.
whatsoever.
We want
Yeah.
to shoehorn ourselves into other people's lives and like actively get them, like, because you only have so many hours in the day, right? So who are you kicking out to let us in?
Right.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It better be your fucking kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah. We're a big,
Yeah.
strong
yeah.
anti-kids policy.
Yeah,
here,
definitely.
I want
Under
you
the
to look-
stairs type.
I want you to look into my eyes on your phone from your phone while you ignore your child.
Yeah, right.
I want it to
That's
be
the
like
dream.
not the first painting they bring home, but like the third or fourth where they actually are understanding maybe shapes a little bit.
Yeah.
And they've drawn your like
Oh.
hair with like
Right.
perhaps 4 or 5 streaks of blue paint.
Nice.
It's a beautiful emotional moment,
Yeah.
and I want you to ignore that.
Yeah.
Look at us on your phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trust me, you'll like it.
Totally. Yeah, I got this really cool observation about baseball umpires that you really need to hear.
Yeah?
Yeah, not really. Actually, I've been thinking about. I'm coming to terms like I want to. I think my inner monologue or whatever
that the
is,
MLB is fixed.
No, 100% it is, right? Like that's why it's like it's only fun to watch. I think the most exciting versions of baseball possible, right? That's why they've made rule changes. That's why they've done, everything that they can in the past decade, I think,
Yeah.
to really bring the numbers up, because you're never going to have as exciting baseball as you're going to have with steroids, right? So 63 fucking home runs. Get the fuck out of here, right? That's
Yeah.
not. That's
I did not
as-
care. I
Yeah.
did not care at all.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
but That's not what we're talking about today. For Dark Thoughts and Dark Places, I think that I believe Black Sabbath. And for a greater number, Ozzy Osbourne. You didn't just bring in an album today, Ryan. You brought in like a culturally significant time and hard rock music that I believe needs to be discussed.
Yeah, when Ozzy left and started his solo career and then was replaced with Ronnie James Dio.
Yes.
So
And neither of them really missed a beat.
No.
Kind of, they both they both went on to be just like so successful. I don't know, like I only because I was not alive at the time. I don't know like how much Rainbow really like connects with people. I don't know, like, but yeah, it took, because then like Led Zeppelin had made like talking about, you know, orcs and goblins and ghouls and stuff like pretty cool.
Totally.
Right.
But this, like, yeah, it really like shaped like the Dungeons and Dragons culture of like
Absolutely.
Dio was like kind
Yeah.
of, and maybe I'm like, yeah, Dio was like, for everyone loves metal, but like Ozzy was like pop culture metal
For sure.
and like
Right.
Dio was like basement metal almost.
Definitely.
Right,
Yeah.
And it all kind of started with like this breakup of Ozzy leaving Black Sabbath, like the
getting fired, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Or like as the lore goes, was he so fucked up?
He was so fucked up, and I believe I should have like went through this. I wanted to like go through like all, but from what I understand, it's either Black Sabbath's manager or Ozzy's manager. Sharon Osbourne was the daughter
That's right.
of
Yeah.
the person and kind of like helped Ozzy and stuff. But I know in the early 80s he was still fucked up. He was still quite wild.
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And brought in Randy Rose. Like this like
I mean, Quiet Riot, fucking like the bangers that they have, it's like only anthems.
yeah.
You know what I mean, right? And the difference of these two, like it's interesting. Ty fucking nailed it, right? When you were listening to this Black Sabbath record, like for me, Black Sabbath, I know like Paranoid and Sabotage and stuff. So when I put this record on, I had no idea really that fucking Dio was in it. It was such a like a pleasant surprise, and like this fucking album kicked ass. But like I was totally in the dark about it.
Oh,
But,
really?
yeah, it's fucking like super cool. But listening to Blizzard of Oz right after it, you see this like really like defining shift, I think, of like two I guess like branches of metal
Yeah.
where you have
Yeah.
like going like Tony Iommi, like doom,
Yeah.
this direction, and also like fantastical and whatever, right?
Yeah.
But then to like almost like stadium rock metal, Randy
Yeah.
Rhoads guitar on
Yeah.
Blizzard of Oz, like with like Crazy Train and everything that he's doing, right? Like that guitar driven in such a different direction, and they both just fucking like kick ass, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they're
Yeah.
fucking, they're huge. Is this is this Black Sabbath record as popular as the rest of them?
Well, that depends on who you ask.
Totally.
That there's like, that's a very loaded question, because there's like, okay, so there's three. There's the three that like invented metal, Master of Reality, kind of inventing doom and stoner metal. Almost like 20 years. It's kind of weird. Like it invented a genre that like did not, that like it was invented, and then it seemed like it took 20 years for people to
That's
really.
the case like throughout like the history I find metal. Even the sounds that are on this album are like, this is like 1989 sounding like guitars.
Yeah,
and
when
stuff
you
like
said,
that. They're
like
so
Iron
far
Maiden,
back.
fucking,
It's just like,
like,
yeah, you're like
Cataclysmic
this.
Madness and shit.
The sounds on
Yeah.
this is like they are so far ahead of their time. It's
Totally.
wild.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, you obviously have the self-titled Black Sabbath, which kind of like, because everyone else, I remember like reading like the band Blue Orchard did a cover of I'll fuck up the name of the song, something Farm, something Farm.
Maggie's Farm or no?
No,
sorry,
no,
sorry.
no, no.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say like
yeah.
that'd be weird.
They did
But
a
is
Bob
this
Dylan cover.
Yeah, totally. But is this the like kind of the like the birth of like heavy music, or when like guitars got distorted and stuff?
This is like Black Sabbath. Like Black Sabbath
Yeah.
was just the invention of metal, like all
for
of
sure.
it.
Yeah.
And then Paranoid is just so fucking good. And then it has stuff on it that is like really good, like musically and fun, and you wouldn't think of that would be on a metal album, like Fairies Wear Boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like a really
Yeah.
fun song. And then Master of Reality, just fucking so heavy. Like when you hear that like sound like really grungy and sludgy.
Yeah.
And then you have Volume 4 and Sabotage, which a lot of people really love. Some people,
that's kind of the Black Sabbath stuff that I kind of know.
Yeah, some people's favorite Black Sabbath album is like Volume 4, just because it's like very like, it's like you can tell they were like, they were smoking that ganja for sure. They were getting loose with it. And then you get into the last two. One of the best album covers of all time, Technical Ecstasy. They hired like this artist guy who'd done other album covers before, and Never Say Die, also very, but like, you don't want to use the word falling off, but falling off. Yeah. And those are the last two albums with like Ozzy, and obviously Never Say Die is a really, really good song. And then he leaves. Bill Ward is still on Heaven and Hell, which I kind of forgot. Because there's a guy, Vinny Appice, I believe is how you say his name, and he like formed the band Dio, but he was the second person to replace a Black Sabbath member.
Okay.
He replaced Bill Ward, and I forgot Bill Ward's on this album because it sounds nothing like Bill Ward, the drummer of the early Black Sabbath.
Right.
It was like very almost. Yeah. I have no training in like music whatsoever, so I just hear what I hear and then just talk like an idiot. But you like,
that's what the whole show's about. That's why we got Ty here.
Ty corrects us. Yeah,
I'm an idiot. Let's
don't worry. No one's arguing with that.
I don't want to say like jazzy. I definitely don't want to say, but it was like how he drums on those early albums is not how you think of metal drumming.
No,
to say the least. Very small kit and like
super small kit. A lot of like ride cymbal. It is super cool. Like kind of super.
But you wouldn't like. He's the only guy. Like, but when you listen to it, it's really, it sounds a lot like Black Sabbath. The more you listen to it, it's just Tony's guitar solos. You're like, where the fuck did this sound come from?
Right?
They're very
fucking good. It's insane how good it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds pretentious like this, but it's like this is one of the few times using this word. Like they're very inspired. You can tell they're like they were feeling it.
Totally. Well, definitely. I think it's interesting. Like I was reading this thing before when I was listening to it this morning that they felt as a band that they had more room to do shit musically because of the way that Ozzy sings and the difference between the way that Dio sings. It was like Ozzy, like if you like kind of think of like Iron Man or whatever with Ozzy, like kind of like singing kind of like with the beat or whatever, where Dio has much more range and can go like above, and I mean, I guess they could fucking branch out and do different things or whatever.
Well, let's get into it. Let's get into the man, the myth, the legend, Ronnie James Dio.
Hell yeah, dude. The man, because I was like, I was thinking about it, like, is that guy, even if he's like gonna do, like, even if he's gonna go out and just like run errands or something, he's always on a mythical quest. You know what I mean? Yeah,
but would it different sphere?
Would it surprise you to learn that he started in like, what do you call it? Like almost a barber shop.
Yeah. Can you break it down for me? Because I only know
he's from like New Hampshire or something.
Really?
Right? Like,
all I know of Dio is his voice and an MTV Cribs episode from when I was a kid where this guy just has swords and fucking like gauntlets and shit all over his house. So like, and he's like 4 feet tall. So like, he's he's larger than life in my head, but I know nothing about him.
Right.
Yeah, he was in we should probably just have the Wikipedia up, but he was in let's see, because this drives people nuts. Like, as anyone who listens to a podcast, when there's something and the people are talking about it.
We're gonna get
I'm
a few
sure
people
that
yelling
happens
at the
often on this podcast.
People have like tuned in for their favorite albums. We've only talked Bigfoot. It's a kind of a pain in the ass. So I'm glad that we're kind of getting right into it.
We've already talked more about music than we do most of these.
Hell yeah.
I think it's like, oh my god. Here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through it, and then I'll give my actually I won't, maybe I'm not giving my phone away is a weird thing, not because of but you know. You know what I mean? What if you go into my photo album and you see the photos?
Of
all the moles I take pictures of.
I would love to see the albums.
A lot of moles around your.
You gotta watch those edges.
You gotta watch the edges. Oh yeah. Discoloration, uneven edges.
I'm not a big mole guy. I've never really investigated.
Oh, it's there's a whole list.
Your funeral, buddy.
Yeah.
Do I got anything that I should know about?
I have my. Don't worry, I'm watching you.
All right. Don't worry. Something on your,
Is that why you got me to sign all those papers last week?
yeah. Something on your upper left blade, but don't worry about it. I'll wake you up next time if I see anything weird.
That's why you're so excited to shave my back on
Okay.
a strict schedule.
Yes,
Yeah.
You have to. You have to. And you take the photos, and then you just kind of compare them.
You just got to keep an eye on them. It's when they start to change is when you got to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever done like an artsy time lapse maybe with like a,
Oh, nice.
a time of your life kind of thing?
There's clouds coming.
Yeah, dude.
Green Day, a time of your life. 2000 era graduation montage just to see if your moles are changing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Now
I
I'm
just
just
start
turning
changing
point if
and
we're
it's like,
stuck in the road, you know?
Stop video and go see dermatologist. You need to, yeah.
Oh yeah, this episode is
Oh,
brought to you
God.
by Cancer Research. This is awesome.
Just cancer research.
now I'm just thinking of like 2000 era like grad photos.
Oh,
Just,
yeah,
like,
dude.
photoshopping like a mole in with all the boys.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
What was the other song? What was the big
Graduation song.
Oh, it
As
was
we
called-
go
yes,
on.
Yeah.
That one was a little before my time, but definitely
What was your
I
one?
will remember you.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna
Oh,
say
yeah.
Sarah McLachlan
I
was
will
on,
remember
and then
you,
and then
yeah.
somewhere the SPCA was like, "Well, we're taking this."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're
this
like,
is
okay.
ours. Yeah.
Hijacked it from the kids. Well, as soon as the graduation song came in, then I
Yeah.
Then
oh,
that's a
fair
shoe
enough.
in for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was a big one. At
That
my
was like
grade
a
six grad.
type of song that you like people strive to make. They were like, "Oh, we got to make
Totally.
that good graduation."
Totally. This is gonna get played at all the graduations.
Could you imagine fucking being Sarah McLachlan and just getting like call after call from like your agent and your manager and like there's a fucking song called Graduation. We are fucked.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're relying on royalties and things like that, right?
What are we gonna do?
Right,
The
yeah.
SPCA is offering you.
Well,
something.
yeah, we got a great new offer for you.
Well, she's not very metal, but this album is back to
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how that goes. Like because the Green Day thing for sure was
Oh yeah, that's a
unexpected.
classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that was unintentional for
Totally.
sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That like and maybe people I'm trying to think when all those 3 songs came out because Green Day, that song is like kind of before my time, but I just knew it as like that's what people like,
Yeah.
that's because when you're at a certain age, like you view the world like you'll view the world in like a 5-year span, and that's like your concept of reality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So when I was
totally,
that
yeah.
young,
Yeah, it's fucking
the
really
graduation song
Yeah.
was the Green Day song.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
that's just what graduation is.
Yeah, yeah.
They're gonna play
that
Green Day and
song.
give you a
Yeah.
funny hat. and
Yeah.
That,
They all
that's
wear
the,
green because it's the Green Day. and
Totally.
They play the
Yeah.
Green Day song.
Yeah, it's the Green Day.
That's the first show that I ever saw. I was 10 years old, and my
Nice.
dad, my dad was coming out of rehab and stuff. So he's just kind of like, "What do I do with my kids and shit?" So we drove out. He picked us up kind of halfway from trail, so it's like an 8-hour drive or whatever. So we're coming out, and we're super excited, right? My brother was into hockey, and my uncles played in the NHL at the time. It was Ray Ferrero, so my brother got to like meet Mark Messier and like do all this cool shit. Which, in hindsight, kind of shitty that I got left at home because my brother got to come to Green Day as well. Anyway, whoa, unseated. Anyway.
Well, the next golf round is going to be
Yeah.
very
We're
intense.
gonna
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah.
No, but then I got to go to Green Day, and I was 10 years old, and it was it was a life defining moment because I saw like punk rock kids and shit. Then I had to go back to like my hometown and be like, fucking Time of Your Life can be played electric, and it can fucking like rip shit, and these like fucking kids all dance together. It's called like a mosh pit. There's fucking life outside these walls, guys. And and I'm still kind of like in the throes of that kind of thing.
Still
Of my punk
chasing
rock.
that high.
Big time.
Now we're almost in triple digits of episode numbers here. But have you
yeah.
talked about that, your first concerts on the podcast?
don't
We might
think
have
we've,
mentioned
yeah.
it, but I don't know. Mine was Avril Lavigne.
Hell,
Oh
fuck
yeah.
yeah.
That
Oh
fucking
yeah.
rules.
Right after that first album came out, so it was a short concert because she
Yeah.
just had the one album to play.
yeah.
But yeah, me and my mom went. We were on the floor, and I was sitting on her shoulders the whole time. And at
Sick.
one point, I got up on the big screen, and I was
Sick.
just like, "Why'd you have to go and make
Did you have a tie around your neck?
I did have a tie.
Yes.
From La Senza
Yes.
girl.
That's
yeah.
my girl. Nice.
yeah.
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
A what?
A tie, Avril Lavigne
Yeah.
rocks the tie.
Remember when they were like, "Oh, the industry was like, look how well this is working,"
yeah.
and then they just were like, Jessica Simpson, you have a little sister. She's this now.
Yeah, totally.
Dye your hair black. Put her up there.
Totally.
But I don't want to be a goth.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck up, Ashlee.
Yeah.
They took like a blonde. They took
Yeah.
a blonde, which at that point I don't know how like wealth transferring goes. Like if Jessica has like a lot of money. I don't know how much. Ashlee's life like instantly improved kind of thing.
yeah.
Right. She
But
did
it-
have her own reality show after Jessica did.
After.
Yeah, but didn't
Yeah.
like
It was
scratch
after
the
the
yeah,
phase.
but
Yeah, I mean, I watched it.
yeah, but a drop
After
in the
the
bucket
jig.
compared to
Yeah,
what
yeah.
fucking Jessica and Lachey did.
After
right?
the jig, yeah. The
But-
jig really is what made her big, I think.
Just to
For
take a
the-
blonde, like a young blonde woman like from the South, kind of, and be like, "You're this now."
Totally, yeah.
This girl
Yeah.
from Canada, she's got.
Make
It's like
Eyeliner.
80s, but it's different.
Yeah.
Eye makeup.
The thick-
This is the
yeah.
thing now.
Put a
You're
fucking
this.
tank top on.
Yeah. It's the thick lower eyeliner, right in the. You guys
Is
don't
that the
know.
secret?
Yeah,
Oh,
but that's
okay.
that's the Avril Lavigne look. The
Yeah.
thick black line under the eye.
Right
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
that
You know,
Pete
and
Davidson
yes,
vibe.
yeah.
That
Those
Pete
Pete
Davidson.
Davidson eyes.
Hell yeah.
Pete Davidson.
And not only one hit wonder too, because she did come back. What's the hit that she had years later?
Girlfriend?
No, like
After she got pink
but
in
I'm
her
with,
hair.
I'm with
and-
you or whatever.
That's the same
Same
album.
album.
Same
Same
album?
album.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
sorry.
all the
that
hits
was
you're
just-
thinking
that
of.
slaps, bud.
Oh yeah, that
Fuck yeah.
album. Hey, that might.
That's a great song. Yeah.
Oh man,
okay,
there's a
that's
lot of
coming in,
great
yeah.
songs. Oh, whew.
Where
Yeah.
were
What was
you?
your first concert?
I went and saw Def Leppard with my dad.
Sick.
Oh
dude.
fuck
Sick.
yeah!
It
that's
was
good,
right after
yeah.
I got caught smoking weed in a field behind my friend's dad's bar.
That's a
Like
special
a very
moment.
dumb. Well,
Yeah.
no, it
No?
was like.
Was he mad
am I
still,
allowed
or-
to go? Yeah.
Oh.
Of course.
Oh no!
It was crazy, man. They took me. My uncle took me to the downtown east side to be like, if you stay on this path.
My parents
I
did that too.
I
We
did-
didn't
I had-
even
I had to
live.
run down
We
there
lived
as
on the
well.
island, but every time we
lived in
came to
Kamloops.
every time we came to Vancouver, they made a point to drive down East
Yeah.
Hastings and be like, look at it.
Oh, yeah.
As an adult, I'm like, I think it's
So
like a
weird.
lot of
Yeah.
different factors, like mental health, and then
Yeah.
your family's like
Yeah.
general kind of situation seems to be the biggest one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I should have said at the
Totally.
time.
Yeah.
Instead, I just went like, damn.
We gotta
fuck
get
yeah.
off this
Fucking-
reefer.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Are
funny,
we going
yeah.
to the old spaghetti factory or not?
Yeah.
That was funny. Like when I would come down, my dad like spent a lot of time down there and shit, so he's a nose guy. So I was telling you the story the other day. Like we were driving through that neighborhood, and my dad, like it was like a Sunday. We're fucking shooting the shit, or maybe Saturday or whatever, because this guy was in work clothes, and we just drives by. This guy's named Marco. Like I'll never fucking forget this. 'Cause, like in mid conversation, my dad's like, right in downtown East Side, he rolls his fucking window down, and he's like, Marco, what the fuck are you doing? You work for me. And like he just gets this like argument with this fucking guy because he was going to work for some other fucking construction site or something, right? And he's like, Monday morning, I want to fucking see you on my job site. And he like rolls the window up and he's like, so anyway, but it just fucking didn't skip a beat. And I was like, I think my dad's a fucking lunatic.
That's insane.
Who opened? Who opened for Def Leppard? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I don't remember the opening act.
Was it one arm deaf? Like, did you?
Of course.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
'cause what year?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like that would have been. that
What
would've been,
is
like,
his
the
name
80s.
again?
I have no idea.
He was amazing. Like I kind of watched him like quite.
Of course, yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And Hysteria. That song live is like fucking
Fuck yeah,
amazing.
dude.
Fuck yeah.
Amazing. So that was the first one. Then the next couple were like amazing. I think the next two were I think I saw what are they called? I was mixing up five finger death finger 11 finger 11.
Finger 11, yeah.
There you go,
We're right at their peak.
Fuck
They
yeah.
were
Sick.
great,
Oh,
man. They were
man,
so
yeah.
good.
Fucking
Yeah.
big pants with the fucking with like Liberty spikes that weren't a punk band and
Yes.
shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I
In
kept my eye
an
on them.
empty curling rink, just
Yeah.
a very
Oh,
like
fuck yeah.
Canadian concert, finger
Hell
11.
yeah.
That's
an
awesome.
empty
I'm
curling.
getting into it.
I had no idea you had that on.
Where did you get that?
I have a baby's birthday party to go to after
Yeah,
this, so
we
I'm just
do
kind of
have that.
pre-gaming for a 1-year-old's
Yeah.
birthday. It's gonna be.
Oh, okay.
Something.
Taking a page at a rabbit counters. Like it's
What
the 1-year-old
was-
birthday roast.
What was your first concert, Ty?
The Tragically Hip.
Oh fuck yeah,
Oh,
that's a
very
good
good.
one.
And
That's a
Sam
good one.
Roberts.
That's
Sam
fucking-
Roberts
yeah.
opened.
Holy
It was
shit.
a very Canadian concert.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Shit.
It was kind of late. I was in grade 10. Like I feel like
Okay.
people
Oh,
had gone
wow.
to like concerts. Yeah, I just like could
Yeah,
never.
How much music were you into, and how well could you play
Yeah.
by the time you'd seen like a live show?
Yeah.
I've been playing for like a minute, I think, because I started playing guitar
Wow.
when I was like 8.
That's wild.
Wow.
So yeah, I just never lots of recitals.
Yeah.
Lots of recitals playing
Yeah.
really cheesy
Lots
ass
of
music, but
Okay.
That's a great first concert. Where'd you
grade
see them?
Grade 10. Yeah, that was a fucking.
That's
It was
awesome.
at the Queenie. It was pretty sick.
Oh shit,
Damn.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
pretty
that's
sick.
huge.
So
Fuck
you're a
Yeah.
Vancouver kid?
No, well, I moved here when I was 6, and I moved to Tawasin, so not really.
In where I'm from,
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah,
Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's,
But I know living
that's
here
some
that
big
that's
city
not the
stuff
case.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah. I am a huge pussy now. That's what
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
asking. Yeah.
we know you're a skinny
Yeah.
tattooed loser.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's been a
What the
trip.
hell?
We have
It's an
inside jokes
ongo-
on the show.
It's an ongoing theme.
Ty doesn't
Yeah,
have dad,
jokes.
It's
Fucking
awesome.
loser.
Hey, call your dad, Ty.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh my god. We gotta stop doing that.
Yeah.
But my fourth concert, it was a good one. I lost my captaincy. I was a team captain on the football team, and I lost it because I missed a practice to go see Megadeth.
Oh,
Sick.
Shit.
So
That's
that was
good.
shitty, and I was the lone grade 11 captain because they're like, you have to have one grade 11.
Yeah.
And I lost it.
Oh fuck.
But then, to
But
go see
what do you
Megadeth.
think? Yeah, where do you place Megadeth in your tier of
Yeah,
of
how do you make
metal?
that decision?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good decision.
Fuck
Fuck
yeah.
yeah.
It
I
was
was
when-
texting them yesterday because I was
Megadeth?
no, not Megadeth. Dave, just hey man, he got over his throat cancer and shit. I just wanted to reach out and show my support.
David,
was
man,
texting.
you gotta stay away from those young
Yeah.
girls.
100%. Yeah, dude.
How do you feel about coming on the pod? Yeah.
You can probably get David
Yeah.
Elfson. I believe that's how you say his name now.
Oh, that'd
'Cause
be
he got
wild.
he was the only member of the only long-standing man. He was in the band, out
Yeah.
the band, in
Yeah.
the band, out the
Right.
band, in the band, and then finally Mustaine just dropped him like a sack of hammers because he was just messaging all these teens in
Oh
Europe.
my god.
Oh,
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
no.
not all. Maybe it's just 3 or 4. Anyone.
That's
can
Get
enough.
somebody else to play on the record. I
That's
just
a
want to
lot.
come on the
Oh,
road, guys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We could beat him for
That's
sure.
fucking
Yeah.
wild.
You can book him for
We
sure.
could, yeah.
Oh
He's a-
yeah.
he's a
But
good
yeah,
Got a
no, I was
couple
messaging
gets.
them yesterday
Yeah.
because I think every 3 years I have this thing with Megadeth where I was excited with Black Sabbath here, so I kind of went found my favorite metal, usually Megadeth and Iron Maiden and stuff like that. And I was listening to it yesterday at work, and it was just a shitty morning. And I had 3 fucking guys with jackhammers just polishing concrete and shit and just kind of finishing. And they both were flanking me and moving towards me and shit. So I just had to have a screaming match with some guys at 7 in the morning. And then Angry Again came on because I was just listening to the greatest hits, and I was just oh, okay, here we go. It's gonna be this kind of day. But by the end of it, I just remember Last Action Hero, and there's so much Megadeth in my life or whatever. That fucking band kicks so much ass. This is Megadeth Appreciation Moment brought to you by Jonny.
Brought to you by texting teenage girls.
Yeah, hey.
Just the tunes.
A lot
you
of
know,
our content is brought to you by that.
I can separate the, you know what I mean, the sound from the statutory. That's always.
Jesus.
What's also the bass? It's not Mustaine. It's the fucking the
Mm-hmm.
guy who's always in the band, out the band. In the
Yeah,
band.
totally.
Megadeth is one of the bands that has fallen in the streaming era where many of us don't own music, and
Sure,
how
right.
we listen to music is through our telephones.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only fucking albums you can get is the remasters. I don't know
Yeah.
if anyone here's a
I was-
Megadeth fan. Goddamn fucking.
That's
The
the problem
Best Buy
with a lot
reissue
of,
fucking
that's the
remaster
problem with a
thing.
lot of bands, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, how
I
come
was
I can't
noticing
get
that
it?
this
Interesting,
morning,
though.
even listening to this album. It's so many fucking classic albums. You can only get the remaster or the 20th anniversary edition that
Yeah.
has 15 extra
I also don't want
tracks
the
on
and
it.
I don't want the fucking
Yeah.
mix to be fucked up. It's I like
Yeah.
a stereo. It's that's what they have. And
Yeah.
it's
It's
set for
those
destruction.
yeah,
Yeah.
those
Good
things.
because
And it's why
exactly,
not
and
have
they're
both
put,
on there?
yeah,
If you
they're
want to
put-
listen to the fucking
they're put
remaster,
into I know
Yeah.
as
Who
a
fucking decided as a record company? Well, obviously, record companies opportunity to sell the record again and make more money or whatever. But this fucking remastered and edition is basically them saying your favorite songs have been fucked up. Now check out check them out better. Fuck
it's
that.
just
right?
such a cash grab.
Yeah.
It's
There's
so-
bullshit.
sometimes it is a legal reason. There's the famous Taylor Swift.
yeah,
recorded
that's
all of her
badass
songs
as fucked
to
up.
own it.
What happened there?
She's just re-recording
re-recording all of her
everything.
stuff so
She's
they
like,
could
oh
own it.
okay,
Then
watch.
she owns
Just
the
to-
rights to it.
Yeah,
Damn. Oh.
Because the label
has all the
owns-
masters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
owns all the masters.
But is
and
that
stuff.
copyright or something infringement because you're
No, because she
you're
wrote them
stealing it?
all.
Oh,
Yeah, it's her.
Yeah.
wild.
Megadeth is
yeah.
interesting because Dave Mustaine lost some of the original masters, so it's re-recorded and stuff. And that one specifically, Peace sells and who's buying And yeah.
How many times did they go?
It's
So
rough.
they went in as a band to like and fully re-recorded it to own it.
No. That's
'cause
that
that's
was
like-
not
but this-
with
oh, sorry.
Megadeth.
Okay,
This was
sorry.
like Dave just wanted to like change some things and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't
And,
like a
like-
Danzig situation.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because I think that like Agent Orange has like multiple versions of like Everything Turns Gray and Bloodstains and stuff like that. Like so, their biggest hits, and I don't understand why. Like the album version that I have is like the best kind of like rawest version, but everything online, you know what I mean, just
Super
sounds a
polished.
little bit different. Yeah, exactly, and it's not fucking supposed to sound polished. I like that fucking shitty garage rock punk fucking sound. It's supposed to
Yeah.
sound like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
So we were all listening to the 2008 version.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
okay.
remaster there.
The 2008 version remaster, and it doesn't sound that different. Whereas like Rust in Peace is like, it's crazy how fucking different it is.
I need to fucking
It
hear
really
that.
fucks me up when I listen to it, because Five Magics Before used to be my favorite Megadeth song, and there's just something where it's like when it gets to the part I'm like
Yeah.
just causing a scene on the bus.
Fuck.
And yeah, there's a couple songs on Peace Cells with Who's Buying that are like, what the fuck?
So did you, because like if that's so you grew up on the album version or whatever, right? So now everything that you
The
can
original.
find, yeah, because you're not listening to like your fucking, your CD version or whatever on your phone, and that's fucked
Yeah.
up.
The way like phones are, they make it very hard to have like just random MP3s that you can play. Like most phones, unless you're like a really intelligent person with computers and software and stuff, and if you have a Google phone, which I do, there's probably ways to do it. Where you
I
can,
have an
like,
iPhone and I download MP3s and shit, and I put them on, and it's very fucking difficult. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
sit on
Takes
it
a
for
long time.
hours. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pain in the ass. But I just refuse to pay $10 to a streaming service for albums that I collect shit. So I own the Offspring Smash on cassette, on CD, and on vinyl, and I'm not gonna fucking pay for it again. Like, give me a fucking break, right?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's not one of my favorite albums. I was just like, oh shit, look at this, a cheap copy of it, right on. Like, I like a physical copy.
I also
of it
pay
or
for the
whatever, right?
shittiest version of it.
Totally.
Even
Yeah,
even if it is like just the fact that it is an MP3 is like not good.
Yeah, what a
Yeah.
fucking compromise,
Yeah,
right? It's bullshit.
yeah, it is. It is super. And yeah, exactly. When they only have the fucking remastered version, it's like, well, this isn't even
Especially
what
with
I
these
want to
old
listen
albums,
to.
dude. Like you like
Yeah.
hearing that, hearing I always doomy ass guitars. Like I want that as analog as possible.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, 100%. It's like, I mean, at that point too, like, and I hate to get all fucking like fucking like, music nerd about it or whatever, but like in a sense it's historical for a fucking reason, right? So like if you like, putting like finishing touches on it, like masks up the fucking shit that he fucking invented. You know what I mean? After like a fucking tragic accident, losing your fucking fingertips and shit, and like restringing a guitar with banjo strings and tuning it down and shit like that, inventing a fucking style of music essentially, right? Like it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
His contribution to heavy music is fucking is absolutely fucking nuts. And for some other asshole in a fucking digital room to fucking
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
tweak
Fuck
it
with
for
it.
you, it's like, hey man, the balls on this son of a bitch.
So back to Heaven and Hell. On that note,
I don't know.
tried
Did
to
it bless
play-
you
no,
or
I
what
tried to
was
get to
that?
a point where I could play it off. For,
Yeah,
like,
but
comedic
it's too
effect.
far.
It's
Too far
the-
gone.
weird.
I got it.
It's the 3 times where
Yeah.
like it's just
It feels like Geezer Butler's maybe turned down a little on this album, where on early albums it's like the bass is like so in your fucking
Very
face.
pale, yeah.
And it's like it's definitely that. So that it was one of the things where when I was re-listening to it like multiple times last night, I was like, it does sound way more like Black Sabbath than when I would have been like 15. So for fans of Black Sabbath, this would have been like even more jarring, but it was like good. It's
Fuck, is it so good, dude?
Totally.
The way the bass and the kick are so on point together on there's so many like random like chordal shots of just like
You were doing
they
air
all
bass to
everyone
every
just does the
song when
same
we were
thing at the
chilling.
same time, and it's like it's fucking insane like how tight it is. That's the coolest thing I think I love about doomy shit, because it does feel very like washy, but it's so fucking timed. It's like it's wild. It's very like regiment kind of like time signature or like how they keep time was it still sounding very like flowy and shit. It's such a
You
fucking
kind of get lost in it, but everything.
and then he's got these like crazy
every
ass
downstroke
like
is,
they always experiment too. I'd find like as much as like it's a classic guitar sound. He uses the same guitar. Like the SG is like a pretty they're not very versatile sound, but it's fucking like nothing
fucking
distorts
great.
better.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking good. But he gets real spacey with it too. Like there's like lots of like delay pedals and shit like that in like some of the breakdowns and stuff that are phenomenal. Like so fucking good.
Die Young is it just sounds
Dude,
so
that
good.
track is my favorite. That's my track on the fucking album. It starts with a synth, and then later on there's like an arpeggiated synth inside as he's just doing this like super reverby, rad harmonized solo too, which wasn't like that big yet.
Yeah, well, I was listening to it this morning,
sick.
like when they were, I was like, I'm like in the fucking like the Wikipedia write up or whatever. I think like when they were saying that they had the means to explore now or whatever too, and then they got this like a synth player on. I think he played on like a previous album or something like that, and I think he came on for like the whole thing now. And like when bands start to like explore, I wonder how many like purists or whatever that like were pissed that Ozzy left or synth came in and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like when you start to watch like your favorite band kind of
Like
like
a Dylan
make
Electric sort of situation.
well, yeah, man, or even like the Flatliners doing what they're doing right now. Like one of my favorite bands, punk band from Ontario called the Flatliners, and they were like kind of like a hardcore ska thing at the beginning, and they've just kind of grown up. They've been a band for they're young guys, but they've been playing for like 20 years or something at this point, right? So they're naturally gonna progress. And we went to their 20th anniversary show, and it was great. We had a great time. Right, but there was a lot of the stuff that is in like the later catalog that Jackie's into, and a lot of stuff in the earlier catalog that like that I really fell in love with like 15, 20 years ago, right? That I was like really excited to, oh shit, this is going to be their last hurrah, maybe playing some of these songs. And I described the show as like when you see a friend of yours that you used to really get down with, but it's maybe like sober, has a kid now or something like that, and there's always love there, but that you're never gonna have like a night like you used to again, right? And there was like and you have to respect that, and this is growing up, right? But I wonder if there's a purist or whatever that or fucking or like a purist fucking like an asshole that won't let a band fucking grow or whatever because they feel some kind of like ownership over like the AC/DC sound, right? You want that band to always be like that. Right?
Yeah. I think because of Volume 4 and Sabotage, like that those are so different sounding.
Yeah.
Then
I mean, they've always been a pretty experimental fucking band.
Progression,
and it was like seems to be like a very like anytime you see interviews with like Tony and stuff, it's like seems to be like very important to him that he does that. Like, which is fucking dope. Yeah. The whole album is so cohesive though. Like every song flows together so well together. The whole album is basically in like E flat minor, which is just fucking like so rad. And like sometimes they'll go to the major key for like one track or two tracks, something like that. What's track 2? What's Children of the Sea or what is like
Children of the Sea? That's
dude.
Correct. Yeah, Neon Nights is just a great way to start an album.
Oh, it's so good.
I feel like if you are a purist, like, you're like,
oh yeah,
who fucks this fucking
totally. That song starts and it's so good.
Like, okay,
yeah.
Dude, that's when I
It's
was
just a
like
very
when I put it on this morning and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do like I'm gonna brush up on a little Sabbath, because like leading up to it in the few days like at work and stuff like that, I was listening to Paranoid, I was listening to the other stuff. I was kind of like, I'm gonna get into the unknown here. And when it fucking like from the first fucking moment,
dude,
you're like, wait
so
a minute,
sick.
what the fuck? Like,
it's
so cool.
It's amazing, yeah. But okay, the one thing is wishing
Wishing
well after Heaven and Hell is so jarring. Heaven and Hell is like one of the best metal songs ever. It just gets you.
You know what? Wishing Well reminds me of there's a song on Back in Black called "Giving a Dog a Bone," which is like, it's like it's so just like, what the fuck is this song doing right now?
This album is
How
so
many ways
good.
can
Like,
they
what?
say let's?
But it's
fuck?
like whatever. There's 7 other fire tracks on. I'm Wishing Well is still sick, and it's like it's
fucking
so
Back in
like
Black, yeah.
there's a right amount of fromage in it, but right after Heaven and Hell's.
Dog, how many fucking dog metaphors do they need for fucking AC/DC? Like,
every fucking
lot,
every song is just veiled. Like, and I think like,
Another great SG player though.
dude. And
Yeah.
I think like defining sounds or like the way people play guitars is one thing, but since you've said the SG, I'm thinking off the top of my head like Rancid, Off With Your Heads, you know what I mean? Like so many fucking like, you know, punk bands or whatever, it's just a clean tone and a fucking distorted tone. It's the easy
Yeah.
kind, like it's, and that is the fucking sound, and a Marshall Stack or whatever that is kind of like quintessential punk rock sound of a million bands.
It just distorts so well. The humbuckers that are put in like an SG standard are just like, there's nothing like it. And the guitar has like the longest sustain out of anything. So metal fucking loves it, because like, especially doomy metal, because like it's those like big like wow. It's like so many of those. Like it's such a great guitar. It's such a badass looking guitar too. I don't think I wanted that guitar before I played guitar.
No,
it just looks fucking.
I was always
sick.
like, see like a Les Paul on the other. Like I always thought it like just the body shape or whatever, right? But I don't know if there's ever been like a dispute about that. But the SG for whatever.
For
reason,
sure, the Les Paul is like a way more versatile of guitar. Like you'll get like Zeppelin albums out of that, but fucking SG is just like, it does one thing really, really fucking well. The clean tone's like whatever on it, but it distorts so good.
Maybe before we get back into Ronnie, what are the most metal shapes of guitars? Because like Dimebag.
Yeah.
Here's how I do it: SG.
Yeah.
Dimebag.
Sure.
Yeah.
What was the name of Randy's guitar? Ozzy.
Well, he had a like.
Randy
Wait,
Rhoads,
was
like-
Randy? Or
Randy
I'm thinking
Rhoads.
Zakk Wylde had the spiral, right?
Yeah,
That's a Les
spiral
Paul.
Les Paul.
Les Paul. Okay.
Very iconic.
Oh man, I'd have to see.
Randy wrote it was like the flying V that the
Oh,
one
but
V
is
was
it?
way
Yeah.
Way shorter. That's okay, with the back.
I don't know. That's
I don't know
it's
if
got
it
that
has
like
a specific
Cadillac fin
name.
on its style.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe not the
Like Jackson
Sunbird.
Guitars makes fucking flying Vs. There's different brands.
Yeah,
that
I
make
think it
them
is
and
a
shit.
Jackson
Yeah.
guitar with
Jackson
the
is metal as
flying V.
fuck,
Oh,
but that's
fuck
like
yeah.
later '80s metal. I
Totally.
find Jackson guitars.
I think that with like Slayer and a BC Rich or whatever, like they really went like hell, like you know what I mean, with those body shapes and shit like that, or like fucking like really wild. But fucking what is it? Sorry, continue. I'll think.
No,
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's like if the guitar looks angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
But
it. It
Dimebag's
changed literally
fucking
had
sick
devil
too,
horns
yeah.
on it, and it's so funny because it was not designed that way. It's designed like way back in the '50s. It's
Yeah.
just like Les Paul, this jazz guy. He's like, "Oh, I just want this like good sustaining guitar."
And what they fucking done to that thing,
and no one really liked it all that much, to be honest. Like Big Mama Thornton played it, a couple other like people, but like it was almost like too much. It just didn't sound like just so great. And then once they started putting like fuzz pedals and fucking distortion on it, you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
It's funny to think of God-fearing like blues people from the 50s just like watching like, oh my lord.
Stars.
Yeah.
Well, it's devil's music. I mean, if they were afraid of fucking Elvis and they had fucking no idea what was gonna come, right?
Yeah.
This shit now is fucking like. I
don't think
Kevin Von Helvig was just at a Gore show and he said that I was like, "Oh, did you get covered in blood?" He's like, "No, I was covered in cum.
Yeah,
I didn't get the cum. I got the cum. I didn't get the blood."
when I saw Gore, they cut off both George W. Bush and some CanCon Stephen Harper's head with a dick.
Hey,
Nice.
They're amazingly large space cocks.
absolutely.
Beheaded, I think one of them. And
You know,
yeah.
fuck yeah.
Now
It's
I
like-
do events like, and you can help me to not have a day job if you buy or stream. Manual Labor of Love available on all streaming platforms.
Nice.
There you
Except
go.
Tidal. Tidal's tougher to get on.
Oh, okay.
You just got to do more stuff. I don't know. I have to do it myself.
We'll
My
get you on
label.
the title.
Yeah,
like
This bump, buddy. Trust me.
Oh yeah, you gotta show me yours,
This
bump.
bump, bud.
Oh, yeah.
Get ready, bud.
Jay-Z's a big fan.
No, I've been looking at the drop offs of like it's like Spotify like up here,
Yeah.
then Apple, then Amazon, and then
Right.
like Deezer, like
Oh,
way
Oh wow.
down here.
Yeah.
Just for the amount of people that like
Right.
listen to it and
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
It's not a knock on like the software or
Totally.
how they pay artists
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Tidal is even lower.
Do you have physical
Yeah.
copies though? Because speaking of how they pay artists, it's probably
I've been looking into getting vinyl pressed.
That'd be
It's
sick.
annoying.
It is
Sick.
annoying and expensive.
Yeah, it's like you have to kind of sell your vinyl for $30 to like make it worth
100%.
your while.
Yeah.
Tough to take on planes. I think they don't.
heavy as fuck, too.
Well, I don't think they fit in the overhead.
Right.
I've
If you
fit
put
a
them
couple-
flat,
yeah,
if
you
you put them
don't
flat,
want
that's
that.
not
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Because like I've traveled like
that's-
with like you know what I mean, like like 3 records in a backpack kind of thing, and they do get up there, but
Yeah,
But if
you
you're
gotta
bringing,
I
fucking-
always
like-
get home shitty.
Yeah,
I
but
got a
if
lot of
you're
bent
like
corners in
bringing
my
a bunch
collection.
to sell and shit, then it
Yeah,
makes it a lot
exactly. You're
more
just telling them they're
complicated.
fucked
Yeah.
up.
Totally.
Yeah.
No bueno.
But I just think that people have to clean up like a Guar show.
Oh my
Like I
God.
wonder what
Oh
Guar's
God,
rental fees
yeah.
are compared to other bands.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah,
Like
Actually,
you definitely have an asterisk on your contract, like Guar's manager, where it's like, okay, this is the Guar fee. Like we've broke it down. This is what it usually costs in man hours to like clean up one of our shows.
Yeah.
So like we think this is that.
I went to an ICP show.
oh
they
man,
have like
you mentioned working there. Guar's
the-
coming. Fuck.
Yeah.
Book that night off.
The
Yeah,
Insane Clown
right?
Posse has their
I'm
own
not working
fucking
Guar
team
night.
set up. Like it was insane. So it's one of these moments where we're hanging out, just a group of friends, and I hear that the Insane Clown Posse is going to play tonight. And there's tickets available, and I was very excited. And everybody that I was hanging out with was like, "Go fuck yourself." So nobody wanted to come with me, and I had acid.
No
and shit,
gigolo
so-
homies.
Yeah, no juggalo homies at
Juggalos,
all.
gigolo
right?
homies. There's a lot of those.
A lot of gigolo homies, no jugs. So I called a friend that I knew was like was a weirdo who'd be into, you know, like a sociological experiment like this, dropping acid and going to fucking see what an ICP show looks like. That would be cool. So I get in there, and it was fucking as wild as you think it might be. Those people fucking go hard in the paint, and it was actually fucking like a really great experience. I would definitely go anytime. If you're not even into this music, then it's even better just for people watching. There was a girl that was butt naked that just like stripped all her fucking clothes off. It was just grinding it out like 3 feet away from me, and the staff was going over there like, "Lady, you have to. I'm not going to touch you, but you got to get the fuck out of here," kind of thing. They couldn't control anything, and I'm like. And so their whole thing is Fago showers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So they're shaking up these 2 liters, and I'm looking at my buddy, and like the ass is just kind of starting to kick in. We're sitting at the back of a venue nightclub, and I'm like, that's probably not going to get all the way back here, right? Let's just like kind of hang out and chill and watch this thing. And Shaggy 2 Dope just has this fucking this technique with he just bounces this 2 liter off the ground, and no bullshit, a 2 liter of root beer just comes flying. And as I was looking at it, man, I was so fucking high, and I was like, no way that's gonna get all the way back here. And like as a half a 2 liter just hits me in the chest, and like you could feel it, and I was like, holy shit. And immediately I looked down. I had an anti-flag fucking hoodie that was like now completely fucked and covered with root beer, and I was like, okay, now I just have to get involved. And I got as close to that stage as I could, and I partied with those motherfuckers. It was awesome.
You know who has wild concerts?
But so I'm sorry, but the cleanup that they had a whole crew that had the whole room tarped off, and the show was over at like 10 o'clock, and Venue Nightclub turns into a nightclub after that. So as soon as we all cleared out of there, all these kids were lined up for this nightclub, and they were kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Because all these kids have face paint that's now running down their face because it's covered in shit, and they're all hugging each other outside and shit, and yeah, so like but they had the clean that was like as soon as we were leaving, mops were coming out and they were ready to turn that place over. So I think that either their road crew or it's like a deal or something like that. But I got home to where all my homies were sitting at my apartment, all my roommates and shit. I just came home covered in root beer and like face paint all over my hoodie from just hugging people and shit. Yeah, it was crazy.
You know who has wild concerts who you wouldn't expect from the type of music that he does is Mac DeMarco.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, people are pissing on the stage and
Yeah,
shit.
it's
It's
fucking-
it's so
Fucking
weird.
Gigi
While he's
Allen show?
playing
What
like the most like chill like music and shit, and people are just going up on stage and like pissing on the stage
Yeah,
and
it's-
shit.
that is fucking
It's
insane.
it's wild.
No bueno.
Totally.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
point.
I was
I am
standing on the
not.
outskirts.
He's
for
a
that
freak,
one.
right?
He is,
Apparently.
yeah. He
Like not like in a like cancelable way. Like he's just
no,
a freaky
he's a weird
weirdo.
guy.
Yeah.
He's actually he was born in Duncan, so he's like one of Duncan's like only claim to fame. But one of my friends was at a party in Victoria.
Darts boot calls.
Yeah, I mean,
Everyone kind
Darcy.
of tries to claim him. To be honest, like because
He grew up. I was gonna say he grew up in Edmonton, and also when I was living in Montreal, Montreal was claiming him for a bit because he's lived there for quite a while. But he was born in Duncan, so that and the hockey stick we got.
Oh yeah.
And the
shout out to
total.
and no
hockey
one
stick.
else.
Yeah.
Not
I'm
one
sitting
other
right
person.
here.
I've noticed.
But one of my friends was at a party in Victoria, and he showed up and drank all the beer and then stood up on the coffee table and pissed everywhere and left.
Fucking love
So
it.
yeah.
Isn't that the best?
Yeah.
No, that actually fucking sucks.
That is
Yeah,
the
right? That's what I'm
worst.
saying.
Shitty thing to
Right?
do.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the
Fuck
worst fucking
this
thing I would.
dude,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
Yeah.
Fucking beat the
That
shit
only
out of
convert. I don't know. I just it's like it's one of those dudes you just see from a distance, like one of those artists. You're like, I don't know. There seems to be a lot of people that think they're really fucking cool who listen to this
I mean,
guy,
he's-
and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I hear that shit. I'm like, yeah, this just confirms everything
Yeah.
that I've made up in my head
But
about him.
totally.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
it's 2022. It's not 2017 anymore. Like it's not. It is like these people. Some of his fans are like fucking 30 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like the style, the style of clothing. Like it would be
yeah.
young people. Mac DeMarco fans would be like young people under 25 that would dress like a 50-year-old alcoholic that is drinking himself to death.
Totally.
Yeah.
The hat with the buckle,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
baseball cap with a buckle on the
Yeah.
back, or like a metal clip.
Yeah.
No,
It's-
metal.
No,
you-
no, I'm just
metal.
kidding.
It's so funny because when I
You are an alcoholic.
yeah, I was gonna say he is
Yeah,
actually a real
yeah,
alcoholic.
yeah.
You're
I just embody
Yeah.
the
you're
spirit.
wearing an RDS shirt.
I
Right?
know.
Like
Yeah,
you are.
Yeah. A 50-year-old
You're
alcoholic.
30 or 40
Yeah,
year old.
He's
yeah.
like, I bought it from Sluggo though.
You gotta
From
give him-
Z Slug.
You gotta hit him up when you see it.
When
Oh,
RDS,
man.
I imagine a brunt of your listeners are on the west coast of Canada. But for anyone else, like outside, there was just a period where it was a skateboard company where, like, specifically because of how California, like, kind of shapes the zeitgeist of the world, skateboarding fashion was very, very, very popular
For sure.
for young people, young whites.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
And
yeah,
then
big time.
RDS was probably just something about the logo.
Yep.
And
a big thing was the way that they pumped out their team was amazing.
The
and
fucking
they had a,
team they had was
a fucking,
insane,
there was a
dude.
VHS that was floating around. Everybody had it. I
Yeah.
owned it. A friend of mine fucking stole it from me. It's a red VH or a red
gun.
box. No, the RDS FSU 2002. So like there was the one from before was good,
Yeah.
but the iconic fucking like the music all over it was amazing. It's one of the fucking for my money one of my favorite skate videos of all time. And it's all
Filmed 3
filmed
clips
here.
of that video, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
I went
Oh,
to
wow.
school with a bunch of dudes who were like, well, like Sean Hayes, who was like pro for RDS,
Yep.
and like, well, but at the time he was like amateur. But like,
yeah. He's
I
singing
got the
Ring of
film.
Fire right
I got
before
the
his
film
part.
with fucking like Macno and Mose, all those dudes. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The other thing about why I got so fucking big was like, Vancouver's a really good place for skateboarding at the time. It was like before anything got capped or anything like that. So it was like no one
Marble
really knew
ledges
about
for
it. It was
miles
kind of
and
like that
everything, yeah.
like Spain vibe where like no one really knew about it yet. So yeah, there was like some fucking heavy hitter skaters coming out.
Totally.
They did fucking
and
dominate. And you're probably the only guy I know with an RDS sweater for sure.
No, it is common, like, but it's like it's common with like people like in their 30s and
For sure. Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
RDS
Support local. This one in Skull
Yeah,
Skates.
yeah,
like,
man,
you know
no,
what I mean?
I'm about
You
it.
might drink some old Milwaukee at
I'm gonna-
1
Yeah.
p.m.
Well, we're gonna have another one too. Like because I hate Ryan. We have to invite you back for part 2. This was awesome. But we have a guest at the door here that
Who is it?
when you leave here, don't freak out because there's gonna be a guy with like long green hair and full ghoul makeup and possibly like a completely blood covered suit. He is the frontman and bass player of one of the most exciting punk rock bands in the city right now, the Foamites. I'm very excited to have him on. But he's gonna be in full costume. He's gonna be fucking not full costume. He lives this life. That's what this lifestyle is all about.
Damn.
But he will be at the door. So don't freak out when you see him.
Yeah,
want it all.
but before we go, you
Totally.
plug your
Please, man.
your
Is that
album
it?
another time.
Dude,
we're gonna have to wrap it up early.
I showed up 15 minutes early and I'm getting fucking kicked out late. This is bullshit.
Son of a bitch.
This is bullshit.
Had so much time.
Am I the shortest episode?
No.
We cut
You
Peter
guys-
Grant fucking way down.
Oh yeah.
You started. Your face got red. I'm joshing around.
I know.
I was very
I know.
late, listeners. But like
I hate
literally,
to, I know.
was
I
so
we
good,
haven't
though.
even talked about Ronnie James Dio.
I know. Like we're gonna
we'll
come
have you
back and we'll
on.
do a whole
have you
Dio
back
episode.
on.
What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah. We'll tell
Yeah, I'm
you
down
to
to
be
do it.
here an hour earlier than,
Yeah.
Yeah.
than we're gonna start. Yeah.
But dude, if you live in East Van, we can also give you a ride. I think if you were coming from Renfrew and 15th or wherever the fuck that was.
No, I was. That was the thing. I was not. That's not where I live. That's where I was when I texted you.
Okay.
In this fucking cab. I can't really blame. I was only later because of the cab experience.
Right.
Like I still had the cab driver known what he was doing and where he was going. I still would have got here at like 12:45,
Nice.
like quite
Yeah,
late.
Yeah.
I can't blame him.
Well then, and that's.
I was really only 10 minutes later because, but I like use it as if like
Oh,
This
yeah, this
guy.
fucking cab driver, man.
Well, in the spirit of that, plug what you got, and then we'll
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
get you back for part 2.
Yeah, Manual Labor of Love. Check it out on Spotify or wherever you. Actually, fuck Spotify. Please buy it.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Just hit me up and I'll fucking send you an MP3.
Dang,
Yeah.
that real
Yeah.
shit.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
man.
No, but actually, no. You can check it out on Spotify too. I like looking at the numbers and Apple Music and Amazon, wherever you stream or buy your albums. Yeah, follow me on social media at Rye Williams Comic. I'm cutting up probably like 4 hours of footage to be a text over video guy comedian.
There you go.
Oh, there you
So
go.
yeah, Rye Williams Comic, Instagram,
Hell yeah.
Twitter, YouTube Shorts, and probably, unfortunately, a TikTok at some point.
I'm
Yeah.
saying these things have to happen,
Yeah.
right? If you're in the Vancouver area, check them out every Tuesday at Full Pint Comedy as well.
Yeah, thank
Hell
you so
yeah.
much.
Fuck
Thank you
yeah,
so
man.
much for having me. I'm so
Thanks for
fucking
coming.
sorry I'm late.
Dude, it's
Oh,
all good,
no,
man. It's
no,
all
no,
good,
no,
man. You're the
no,
best.
no.
Dude. We'll
Such
have
a
you back.
fire,
This was really
such a
fun.
great album.
Well, that was the
Fucking
thing,
brilliant.
like,
So we'll get
yeah.
into Dio
Yeah.
next time for sure.
Yeah,
You know,
we'll
it's a good
just
get-
maybe
yeah.
we'll just finish it and talk about Blizzard of Oz. And
Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah,
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 there you go.
We'll
Oh
do that.
yeah,
That's
there,
perfect.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
There you
perfect,
Done.
perfect.
Yeah, we'll book
All
it.
right.
Part 2 coming soon.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
Peace.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you.